Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the 78-day tarot challenge. I'm still on the Two of Pentacles, but I do have an Ace of Cups up next. Definitely. Was gonna wrap it up this morning, tell you what's been going on, because I got off track with the challenge. Supposed to be one card a day, but turned into 3 days. So, yeah, if you're not familiar with the 78-day tarot challenge, this is the challenge where you try to go on the Fool's journey from the Fool to the world, embodying a card every single day, applying it to your internal and external experience, and documenting the process. See what happens in 78 days. So that's the idea of the challenge, but executing it is a little different. It's crazy, the stuff that actually ends up happening. When I got onto the High Priestess, I needed to slow down, listen, observe, rest, relax, receive, all the feminine stuff. And so then, naturally, twos being balanced, Two of Pentacles came up next. And so, since I'm at Two of Pentacles, well, I've been realizing how out of balance things were because I wasn't paying attention. For example, I do spend a lot of time doing nothing, sitting in the hammock all day. Mainly because I walk around a lot, exerting a lot of physical energy, and then also trying to stay clean and get exercise is another thing. So, when it comes to balance and change, it's like, what needs to be actively changing, or what do I need to look out for? Where do I, maybe I'm going overboard over here, maybe I'm not doing enough over there. It's a constant thing when we're talking about the Two of Pentacles. So that's something I've been trying to practice and actually integrate. Something, maybe one of my weak points. Not that I have too much balance. It's just I don't have. It's not that I don't have good balance. It's that I go into extremes a lot of the times. Like, for me, I'll be going into overworking and doing way too much and never taking a break, and then I'll swing. The pendulum will swing back, and it'll be all I'm doing is nothing. So that's just me being completely honest, because I get burnt out, and then it's just like, well, I gotta do nothing for a while, That's it. It's just, it fluctuates on a slower rate. It's a slower rate of up and down, I guess, back and forth. But trying to bring it to more balance throughout the day or the week or the month or whatever time frame that needs to be addressed. That's what I've been trying to think about, and I've been also still implementing a lot of the High Priestess into my daily life, as far as observing what's around me and opening and allowing things to, using my ears, my listening, my senses, taking things in, rather than just being stuck in my head trying to figure it all out and extrapolate or external, do the masculine thing. So that's where things are interesting. And it's been very hard to trust your intuition and try to observe what's actually happening, instead of just making your mind up and being like, screw that, I don't need to listen, I don't need to anything, I'm just going to impose my will upon the world, kind of sort of thing, right? I don't know, but that's what I've been trying to work with. I can't tell you much as to what's been actually happening. Really not much, just me, fuck. This bump on my face looks terrible. And my camera feels like so dirty. Okay, I guess that's better. But yeah, 5 minutes. I am cooking some sausage right now. So yeah, balance, feeding my body, getting exercise, not being too stagnant, trying to stay hydrated, not have headaches all the time, things like this. Practical shit, not just you know. And then I also wanted to go on, I mean, I know I'm not talking about the straight traditional, anybody can give you the straight up traditional meaning of Two of Pentacles. You can derive your own meaning from the symbols that you can see on the card. You don't need me to do that for you. What I'm being an example of is to show that, hey, I can try to make this my mental focus and do a documented, structured thing, as you know, however you want to add structure, take away structure. But I mean, I'm just doing it and living it out through the day to see what happens. As a journey. I mean, it's just going on a journey. It's just documenting and challenging my mind to focus on that. It's just putting my mind in a box to work with, a canvas, see what comes out on the painting, so to speak. But anyway, so this is how it's showing up, is that, like, with the balance thing and the change, I've been really balancing, like, how much I've been consuming YouTube and social media, as well as contributing to it. And I've gone around loops in my head thinking about how people are appearing on the internet these days, why they're doing it, what gets attention, what is the algorithm pushing, and what kind of behaviors are people, you know, latching onto. And I realize a lot of crazy patterns that have to do with, you know, getting emotional responses out of people, whether it's getting a spiritual high or some type of conspiracy kick, or a political aggravation, or an adrenaline rush, or an emotional attachment. Maybe there's something to do with lust or greed. Or, you know, that's why everything gets turned into buzzwords and sensationalized. So when you're fighting a machine that promotes that very thing to get you hooked on being stuck behind a screen so you can buy more stuff that you don't need, I mean, at the end of the day, you're still kind of serving your overlords at some point and being a part of the system. So that kind of threw me through a loop as far as, like, what I was doing with the challenge. I was really thinking, like, you know, I don't really want to create a world where everybody's sitting behind a screen worshiping me just so that I can sit in my little box and be bored and unfulfilled with my life. You know, I don't really want to just turn the camera on and create a scenario where everybody gives me their time, energy, attention, and gets nothing out of me other than an emotional high or a dopamine kick. You know what I mean? I would like it to be, I'm trying to challenge more depth of thought and challenge individual experience, as well as your own subjective meaning that you can only come up with when you have your own subjective experience. Taking advice through the words of others online all the time is not living your life. And just because I didn't know how to, or I was unsure of how to go about the things that I wanted to do in a world like this today, I thought I could, I don't know, understand why people do what they do, I guess. I freaking lost myself there. But the point is, I just made sausage and it's awesome. The point is, it's like, I don't really want to. I see through the box. It's transparent. I don't really need to participate in that. But here I am. Just, what are we all doing at the end of the day? Are we connecting with each other? Are we having fun? Is this beneficial for everybody? You know, those are the questions I'm asking, not how can I get more views and attention. How can I deliver as much meaning and honest, authentic expression to you as possible and connect with people who actually, you know, want to do something about it, not just continue to go along with the mind games that everybody else is playing. I don't know if that makes any sense, but kind of see through the games that people are playing is what I'm saying. And it's not so fun anymore. It's kind of boring. I would like to create a new game where, you know, we can all have some fun and benefit rather than just being passive observers and consumers of our non-existent lives. That's what the challenge is meant to do, is to break you out of your box, to start over from zero, start something new, go on a journey, do something, have something different. Because I mean, I just went to freaking Hawaii and I was like, fuck it, I'm going. I don't even know what's gonna happen. And it's not the greatest thing ever, but like, honestly, I'm more happy, like I said, making sausage and steak than I don't know. I'm just more happy going after something and going on a new journey rather than staying stuck in the same old loop. Like, you know, it's gonna suck if you stay there, but it's also gonna suck if you don't. I mean, like, you're gonna have to do something, and then just being uncomfortable and learning how to live with it and continue on and risk everything. I mean, yeah, there's a balance, but I can't sit here and passively consume somebody else's life and be like, yeah, I'm totally living mine, meanwhile I'm wasting my day with entertainment because there's nothing in my life that's meaningful, because I go along with the systems that we all are upholding by participating in them. Very strange. I'd rather just free my mind, free my soul, but you know, so this is the big struggle for me right now, is balancing how much I want to participate in this society that I don't really like, but also like whether it's social media or just going into town, using money. You know, you got to balance being in and out of the world as much as possible, and how much am I going to participate and how much am I going to uphold. That was the main point of what I was saying with YouTube, is that at a certain point I'm going to be doing the same thing that other people are doing too, and it's not that I just don't support algorithms that keep you sucked in and don't actually provide value. Because you can build a platform and make it promote whatever you want it to promote, or you can create an algorithm that will match data with people who probably need to hear honest things rather than just giving emotional highs, spiritual highs, get high on advice like spiritual spice, adrenaline rushes, whatever. If an algorithm was designed not to match you up with stuff like that and keep you hooked, if it was designed to give you the best information instead. It's just like a sort filter on when you're like in a shopping for something online or whatever, or you're looking for cars, you go to the you sort it by what price, what mileage, well, here in the algorithm of YouTube, we should be having a sort filter on our algorithm of like, yeah, I want to see the most viewed videos. Cool, you can be that person, but you should have the option to say, this is kind of silly, but like, what is the best thing that probably need to hear, even though it's going to because if we can create an algorithm that will get an emotional response out of you every time, we can also get it to do the opposite, by programming different parameters and just saying, we're matching this data up with this data to give this result instead. I mean, it's the input and the output, so all of the information on things that I've watched, blah, 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 blah. Well, this would be a good match. I mean, yes, it would be a good match to keep me watching, but also, what is the most valuable thing that I think I need to hear right now, or, not to keep me stuck and addicted. But how can we also become aware that, like, I'm trying to become more self-aware and saying that I am addicted because of the emotional responses, and I've watched it happen in my body multiple times to realize what is happening and to see the pattern and witness, like, oh, and then try to do something about it. And if I'm just going to go on here and create videos to suck your time, energy, and attention while also complaining about me being addicted to things that suck my time, energy, and attention, I don't want to become another source of pain and addiction, and I don't want to become another drug dealer, if that makes any sense. So trying to give out medicine instead of drugs, not medicine, but like, this is just raw, honest truth of like, hey, I'm homeless in Hawaii because of a lot of reasons. And it's really strange and weird, but I tried to go on a different journey, and I tried to do this stuff and tried to start over and just like whatever, so 78 days to try to rework the unhealthy stuff. Just, I'm trying to provide a solution by saying, hey, why don't we use this as an honest tool to help us create life rather than just, play little games and make it into it's just kind of silly, what some people are doing online. I hate to be that way, but it's like kind of the reason why I'm doing it, which I don't really need to go on about that too much. I'm just saying 78 days of actually trying to apply it to your life and live your life instead of, I don't know. I just feel like it's a more powerful tool. So, anyways, I probably should talk more about Two of Pentacles and not just whatever. But I'm gonna move on to the Ace of Cups, because I think I've been trying to find a good balance to where, look, hey, my attitude, I can talk pretty much about anything and relate it back to the Two of Pentacles. And there's a lot that I've been actually trying to implement the balance throughout like my daily life. But now I got to move on to the next thing, which is I'm starting to feel better now that I'm back in balance and consuming, producing, listening, talking, back and forth with all the duality parameters you wanna mention. You could go on forever. yeah, trying to balance that stuff out, you know. Now I'm starting to feel a little bit better, because I was really tired for a couple days. I got stung by a wasp when I was sleeping. My arm swelled up for 2 days. I woke up with a centipede in my sleeping bag. It was crazy. That freaks me out. And then bugs have been like just biting me on the face at night. So trying to sleep, trying to eat, trying to stay hydrated, find coconuts and drink water, and you know, stay clean. All of the things. Trying to balance all that while trying to come up with how this is and focus on the challenge and make this stuff. So very difficult. But I'm gonna do the Ace of Cups today as well, because I think so. Move on to the Ace of Cups because that's what I got in my reading yesterday, and we'll see what happens, you know. But yeah, Two of Pentacles. I think some things are changing, and it is definitely hard to balance sometimes. So gotta focus on it now. See what happens, you know. Let's just see what happens, I guess. All right. So I'll see you in the next one.